Okay, let's talk about some of the equipment that I'm using for this experiment, or for this 5 months staying out. The two main items I want to talk about are the sleeping bags. One of them is one of my own making. It's the Comfort in the Cold Rapture bag. It's got all the features: the backup closure, the foot tent, as I call it, and I'm looking at the bag as I'm describing it. And I'm also testing out this camo fabric that we found. His tests are really very promising to be actually slightly better than the fabric I've been using. This Rapture bag also has the zip-out liner, so it's a 4-season bag that you can use year-round. Remove the liner if you're too hot, put it back in for winter. You know, it's modular, scalable, I guess you could say. So anyway, and then the other thing I'm using is a Wiggy's Ultralight sleeping bag that is rated at 0 degrees according to their ratings. I'm not good in it down to that point, and I don't rate my bags. As you probably discovered if you visited my site, there are 3 things that determine how a bag should be rated, and the first and most important one is who is sleeping in that bag. What their body fat is, how they metabolize at night when they sleep, and how well hydrated they are. They all contribute to the rating that you can personally give that bag. Otherwise, ratings are an attempt is made by them to, well, I'm not sure. The fact is, they're not very accurate. At least they haven't been for me. I can sleep in a 0-degree bag and be good down to 20 degrees. So if you expect to get a bag rating or a comfort rating out of that rating, I think you'll be disappointed. Anyway, let's get to the bags. I'm alternating between nights, sleeping in one and sleeping in another, and monitoring the high-low temperatures also of the nights. But I want to talk about a couple of the entries that I've made on my blog and what happened. Last night I slept in the Wiggy's bag. Let me show you that bag. Okay, this is the Wiggy's Ultralight. Ultralight. It's rated at 0 degrees. It has what's called a lamellite insulation, which is, I believe, a polyester batting that's impregnated with silicone to help it in not retaining moisture. We're going to be testing that over the next couple months. The bag, to close it up, has a drawstring, your traditional drawstring over here. So when you do pull it up, and I'm going to set the camera down, you get this hole. This is the way I slept last night. It was 32.5 degrees, the coldest last night, which was close to midnight. I'm sorry, 1 o'clock. And originally when I got in the bag, it was 33.6 degrees. I'm sorry, 33.6 degrees. So it dropped a degree. So I originally had my head outside the bag, and I put on a knit cap, and found I was still cold. At least my head was. The rest of my body was doing pretty good. What I attempted to do then was to pull the drawstring up and really kind of seal myself in the bag to get warmer, to get my head warmer. What I discovered, though, is that I have to work harder to actually breathe inside this bag when it's all closed up. I don't like that. I feel like I'm short on breath. I actually have to, it kind of feels like I've run a short ways and I'm kind of huffing to get the oxygen I need. And that's because I don't like sticking my face in that hole. My lips get cold, my nose gets cold, and to me it's an uncomfortable situation. So I'll turn my head to the side, and with that knit cap it helps keep my head warm, but then I feel like I'm laboring for breath. Also, the pad here, this is a Wiggy's pad. Let me pull this off here. This is a Wiggy's pad. Now, it's a well-built pad, and it offers some insulation off the ground. but it's not what I would call very cushiony. It'll help protect you from the cold on the ground. This is a large, and with the ultralight that I use, the feet hang off the edge. If I want to have a little bit more padding on my head, down to my feet hang off the edge a little bit, so I don't get the padding all the way down to my feet. I like the pad though. It's a nice pad, but it doesn't offer a whole lot of cushion. So last night, and that would be the night of the 6th, was not a very good night. I did not sleep very well at all. I kept tossing and turning, trying to find a comfortable position and keeping my head warm. Now, having said that, the night before that, I slept in this bag, and this is the Rapture bag that I make. This bag does not have a drawstring, so you can't drawstring it closed, but what it does have is a zipper. If you tuck this in, this opening right here zips closed, so you can completely enclose yourself in that. Now the temperature the night before, I'm trying to remember what that temperature was, but my head was cold, and so what I did is I put my head down under here and I flipped this over to close that gap, and that's all I needed to do, and my head was perfectly fine. It worked very similar, closing up the bag, as the drawstring did over here. However, I could breathe in this bag. I did not have to labor in it to breathe. I'm mildly claustrophobic, but I can control it very well. And so this, neither one of these bags gives me claustrophobia when I'm closed up in them. Now the other thing is the pad underneath really is, it's open cell foam, and it does offer cushion to the user all the way from the head down to the feet. So you've got cushion all the way down. And if you notice, even though it's a mummy style bag, it really does have quite a bit of room all the way up and down. Now the nice thing about the Wiggies, one nice feature about the Wiggies, is because it uses that polyester batting, it drapes around your body very nicely, and it can reduce the amount of space that you need to heat up with your body. The foam, on the other hand, doesn't drape so well. It leaves gaps, and you can get some a little bit of circulation in there, but for me, the foam actually warms up faster than the polyester batting, and the material breathes much better. It's even watertight or water resistant, and I have yet, I'll do an experiment a little later and actually pour some water on both of these bags. And something else you ought to consider too is if you're going camping with your cat, either have them declawed or give them some other place to scratch, or train them somehow not to knead on the bags. I've got several fabric runs in this bag because that's the last bag that was used, and I think they actually got in the tent and did that. This bag fortunately was underneath another one my son's using. So that's the introduction of the sleeping bags. I'll be introducing more gear as time goes on and talking about it. So we're just at about 9 minutes right now, so I'm going to sign off and go publish this.